For week 9, I did grief in death and dying. So essentially, what is grief? Grief can be an experience or feeling when someone is dealing with someone's death or passing, and it can be uncomfortable at times, if not most. It could definitely be a journey and a process to overcome the feeling, and some people think it's not normal, but it actually is completely normal to feel this way when losing someone. And finally, for processing and working through grief, and according to 3 Sarando's 6 R's, is recognize the loss, react to separation, recollect, relinquish, readjust, and reinvest. The first one is to understand and acknowledge the loss you've had with the person or the deceased, and then react to separation, experience the pain, and express the reaction to loss or anger. And then finally, recollect, remember the relationship between you and the deceased. This is basically memories or feelings or experience you had with that person. Relinquish, and to remove old attachments, and what they say is put your loss behind you. Readjust, this is the process of returning to daily life and finally being able to adopt new ways in the world and see the world a different way. And then lastly is to reinvest. This is basically forming new relationships and finally accepting the change and moving on in a more of a healthy way and coping in a healthy way. And lastly, for help and treatment, the most common form of grief is grief counseling or grief therapy. This essentially helps therapists and counselors aid in the understanding of the person's experiences, loss, and how to help them cope in a healthy way. There is actually no universal way of coping through grief, and it actually is very highly individualistic.